Did you pick this mug or did we give it to you?
I picked it out of the
okay.
I'm the office.
Concerned because I was originally, Rachel, I would never criticize you, but it looked like this is a cracked audioboom mug.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this can't be what we give guests. But it's actually what you picked for yourself. So it's you not valuing yourself highly enough.
I like the character of it, you know. It looks like it's seen some shit.
That would be another good gag, though, like the banana in the pocket and the shattering coffee mug, like mid-sip.
Oh, that would be a lot of good gags.
Yeah.
Speaking of, this is very concerning to me. Matt, this is very concerning to me. You might have to put the top on that.
This?
Yes.
I'm going to put the top on this.
Matt is against plastic straws, as all good humans are.
Metal straws. Somebody, one of the members of my show gave me some metal straws, or gave everybody like metal straws as like a gag, like, lol, we are not using real straws anymore, but I drink almost every beverage in my house out of a metal straw now, and I love it.
Yeah, I've adjusted to it. Matt has gone, he will get an iced drink and take the cap off and then just free like top it.
Yeah, like
free
this.
top it?
Free top.
No, very, very disconcerting.
It just looks like it's so vulnerable, and he puts it right on the edge of the counter.
Let me tell you.
I will say, though, that since I've been in this studio, Nicole, you have spilled your drink out of a sealed container. So, I mean, the track record speaks for itself.
Which sealed container is that, Nicole?
Oh, this is my Brewmate,
Yes.
which is a sponsorship we're trying to get. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Let me tell you,
does.
this is actually very treacherous because I do have a spilling problem, like a legitimate known thing that I can't hold a beverage.
Right.
I don't ever drop anything else, but I do drop beverages chronically.
This is wild. I have an extra metal straw. Do you want it? I didn't wash it.
Oh, well, I was with you until that last bit.
Well, no, I mean, I've watched it, but not since it fell on the bathroom floor yesterday.
That's going to be it. Yeah, I'm going to ride the lightning over here.
Okay.
See what happens.
Okay.
Welcome to Inbox, the show where we gain access to our guest digital correspondents and mine their personal lives for comedy gold. I am Matt Straub.
And I am Nicole Dressbell, and our guest this week is the producer of Chapo Trap House, Chris Wade.
Hi, everybody. Can I even call myself a comedian? No. Just Chris Wade. I produce Chapo Trap House. It's a rude politics podcast for rude people.
I'm reacting now to the way that you tussled with the idea of calling yourself a comedian and then ultimately deciding no. That was a very vulnerable moment we got to watch.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I did comedy for a long time, but I don't think I ever reached the level where I could officially call myself a comedian.
I think you just decide to.
I think it is too. But here's the brutally honest thing, and this is very defined by the capitalist society we live in. If you get paid to do comedy, you can call yourself a comedian.
That is when we decide, yeah. But that seems, I know. Okay.
I mean, I have to be like, what are we even trying to do when we say that? I mean, are you like self-identifying as a comedian?
Well, a little bit. I had a month last month where I decided I was against the idea of work as identity, but I think I crumbled under that pretty quickly.
I think you can be philosophically opposed to work as identity, but I think that you have to grapple with the reality of our lives, that people's identities are based off of the work that they do, and it's not something that you really choose, but it's the nature of the world and society we live in. Also,
as an aspiring TV writer, you really can't do it during staffing season. Yes. You really, really can't.
Yeah. No, during staffing season, I am but a humble widget to be plugged into your greater project. Right. Please, dom me. Yeah. Let me do whatever you tell me to.
Chris, you also have your own podcast, though.
I do have. So again, if we're talking about identities, I could just call myself a podcast producer because I do too. I have my own podcast called And Introducing, and it is about music and musicians. And each episode we read a book or a long article by or about musicians, and then kind of chat about them and their story and how they fit into the larger world of music.
So here we are. We're in front of your email.
Yes.
What's that? What planet? Is that the red planet there?
It looks like Mars.
Yeah.
I use the space theme for my Gmail account.
Mm-hmm.
I have since 2009 or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But you get a new planet.
You get a new planet every day.
It's like a planet subscription.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Every day.
Yeah, it changes at like midnight or something.
Wow.
Planet Box.
What am I doing?
That's only 9.
Yeah, but I think they do the moon and maybe the sun too.
Isn't that a body?
Yeah, celestial bodies.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe no Pluto on this because that's that got downgraded from planet.
And has it remained downgraded?
I actually think I saw a few months ago that some people were disputing the downgrade.
I'm disputing it right now.
I think a lot of people were very angry that Pluto got the boot. look, like, as you just said, we only have like 9 of them. Why are we kicking some off the list? More planets. Get like whatever you can call a planet, put it in a planet,
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so we're looking at your inbox. We're seeing only 74 unread.
I think it says 78.
Yeah, that says 78.
Okay, well, it's tiny.
Yeah. My inbox is a mess because I use my inbox as also like a to-do list. So like even if I've already read the email, I leave it as unread until I actually like wrestle with the task. But that also means that it is a ongoing referendum against my own disorganization and unproductivity. And like, look at this shit. This stuff from like March 21st that I still haven't dealt with.
And you said I think before we started rolling that you've never deleted an email, or basically.
Basically, I delete some things that are like junk and stuff, but mostly I just click read. I read it, and when it's read, I just let it filter down to my my read section. So there are tens of thousands of emails in this inbox because I don't know, I'm a hoarder. I never know when I might want to go back and find stuff out about the previous email.
Wait, but it only says 1 to 78 up here.
Yeah, those are just the unreads.
He's got like the thing going on.
Oh.
And I have the everything else.
Oh my God, you have 91,000 emails?
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yes, I have 91,000 emails.
I see what this thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the special inbox.
Oh, this is also very hostile. So apparently Gmail. Oh, so what is a nudge? You have nudges
That's
set?
the boomerang, right? Isn't that from
Yeah,
Boomerang?
when you read something and it thinks that you haven't responded to it, it'll put it back into your inbox and be like, hey, do you want to do anything about this?
It says sent 4 days ago. Follow up? ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's saying because that issue is...
Because you wrote back, right?
Yes.
And this person didn't reply.
Yes.
Within 4 days. So it's asking if you want to follow up.
Yeah, so I sent him a question, and actually in real life he texted me the answer to it. So
Right.
that is a closed issue for me.
So you just dismiss that nudge, Nicole.
Yeah,
There's
dismiss
a little
that nudge.
Scroll over. Yeah, there you go.
Dismiss
it.
nudge.
And it just
Dismiss
goes away.
nudge.
Yeah.
I feel lighter now.
I don't like that at all, one little bit.
I've been using that. That's from
The nudge.
Boomerang.
I don't know. You know how I feel when any kind of brand or AI condescends to me. I'm fully on board with AI. I think robots are people. I think artificial intelligence is people. I think they deserve all the rights as people.
Yeah.
I think sex robots are... I think it's assault. Anyway, I don't like when they talk down to me, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Well, yeah, but I was going to say, Nicole,
Yes.
what's condescending to you about that? Sent 4 days ago. Respond, ? That feels condescending to you?
do you want to follow up? Yeah, because it's a little bit like I can take care of myself.
Oh, got it. I cannot, so I appreciate
But it works. It gets me to do the thing. But yeah, it is just Gmail just shaming me every time I open this cursed page.
So question for you both then. If you're out in the world and your shoe is untied and a stranger tells you that your shoe is untied, how do you respond? How do you feel about that?
I'd be like, I know it's fucking untied.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
That's true,
great.
that's true.
Okay, good. Just
That's a
making
very
sure.
specific example, I think. Because, if I know immediately.
What if your backpack's open? Your backpack's open. a
I'd say
stranger
thanks.
says your backpack-
I would say
That'd be a
thanks.
good one.
No,
I would say
I would
thank
open
you.
it further.
Just
That one I'll
dump
be
all
like-
your stuff on the
Yes.
street and be like, now what?
Yes.
No, that one's a thank you from me because things are going to fall out, and I do leave it open sometimes.
Right.
Hello, go for Matt.
Hi, Matt. It's Nicole.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Not much. I was wondering if you could call me back, just because I feel like I call you a lot.
You want me to call you back right now?
Yep.
Okay, hanging up and calling you back.
Thank you. Hello.
Hey, it's Matt.
Hi. Thank you so much for calling.
Oh, no problem.
How come you called?
What? I called because you just told me to call you back. I'm just feeling super confused right now.
Oh, wow. Do you feel like you got scammed?
Oh, I do a little bit, actually.
Isn't that fun? And there is a new podcast from Earwolf, hosted by comedian Lacey Mosley, called Scam Goddess.
Lacey loves fraud, hoodwinks, hoaxes, swindles, and double crosses, which is why people call her the Scam Goddess.
Which I have to admit, I'm jealous of and also in admiration of. Each week, Lacey is joined by some of her favorite comedians to break down some of the greatest grifts, hottest hoodwinks, coolest cons from the past, present, and future. I can't even imagine what future scams means, but that makes me really excited.
Comedians like Nicole Byer, Paul F. Tompkins, Lauren Lapkus, Carl Tart, and Jamie Loftus, who, by the way, was a guest on Inbox this season.
Matt, I will say, so 99% of the podcasts that exist are murder podcasts, which is not my jam at all. I don't like a murder podcast.
Is that an official stat, by the way?
That is an official stat. Look it up. I do, however, love a true scam story. I am trash for scams.
Scam Goddess comes out October 1st.
And hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite shows. Chris, is there someone you don't want to email?
Email roulette.
You know, because I've listened to previous episodes of this, I was thinking about this, and I don't know. We might have to pick at me a little bit because I think that most of my emails. I mean, I think the easy answer to this would be old bosses and exes. But I don't know if there's. I'm pretty good at like keeping correspondences open until the time has come, and then also following up or trying to get back in touch with people that I haven't talked to for a while.
Sometimes these fall into the category of, Nicole, and I think you'll agree. Like this wouldn't be mortifying if I emailed this person. It would be weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like why would I be contacting this person? That kind of thing. There are certainly emails like that have been written where it's a little more goofy and just odd.
Yeah.
Than like, oh no, this is mortifying. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't mind an old boss email.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. And honestly, as I was walking over here, one of the people that popped in my head for this is my first boss in New York, an eccentric old man named who hired me to do freelance video work creating a documentary about World War II submarines.
Oh, wow.
And when I first moved to New York, I had an internship, and I got this job by literally like messaging videotapes to this guy's office, and I met him in the lobby of the New Yorker Hotel over on the other part of 34th Street, and he was like, "Okay, thank you for these tapes. Hey, do you do any editing?" And I was literally like a courier, and I was like, yeah, actually, I am a video editor. And he was like, okay, come upstairs. There's something I want to show you. And the classic situation where I probably should not have gone upstairs with this man, but I did, and that turned into almost a full year of shooting and editing spec projects for PBS for this guy about World War II submarines and the state of news and print media.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
No, one is a thought and one is a question.
Can you make the thought have a question mark at the end?
Yes. So my thought is just how many, because it's definitely some, just how many couriers do you think were murdered by old men in the New Yorker Hotel? Like specifically that hotel and couriers and old men.
A dozen?
Yeah, it feels like easily a dozen.
I think that's a good place to start as like for a first bet.
And then my second question is just how spec were these?
I do not think any of these things ever saw the light of day.
And do you think PBS was asking or open to, or were these like real long shots?
I think he had like done some like production work for PBS like a decade earlier,
like delivered tapes to PBS.
Yes, in the same format, and he had like some kind of relationship with them, and he was just like, no, they're interested. Oh, trust me, they're interested. Oh, yeah, they're interested.
If you had to guess, like, where is this dude now?
Maybe dead.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. He might still be in his edit suite in the New Yorker Hotel trying to crank out these submarine documentaries.
Okay, great. So I would love for you to actually open another window.
Yes.
Would you say he was preoccupied? Sorry to interrupt. Was he especially preoccupied with submarines?
Yes. He was fascinated with the war in the World War II combat in the Northern Atlantic, which I actually think is interesting in like, submarine naval warfare. And then he also did have an actually really good story that I've not heard told other places. In the middle of World War II, a German U-boat dropped off Nazi saboteurs on Long Island. Like this happened. A crew of like 4 Nazi saboteurs were dropped off via U-boat on Long Island. They buried a bunch of gear there. It's like a Coen Brothers movie. It was immediately a disaster. 2 of the guys had already decided they wanted to defect like while they were on the U-boat coming over. The other 2 guys were like party boys, and like literally as they're burying their sabotage gear, like an 18-year-old Coast Guard guy with a flashlight who's just doing like volunteer patrols wanders on these German dudes. It was like, hey guys, what's with the SS uniforms? And they're like, you do not. We are doing normal beach things here. We do not want any trouble. And like, so they are immediately reported.
Why would you ever?
Yeah.
do that in your uniform?
They got off the boats in their uniform, and their first step when they got on the land was to change out of their uniforms.
Okay, so they get caught by the 18-year-old Coast Guard, and
they threaten him in German and try to bribe him, and then they both go their separate ways. The Coast Guard immediately reports them. It gets immediately sent up the ladder of oh, hey, they're probably saboteurs. The Nazis go into New York. They stay in hotels in the middle of near Penn Plaza.
The New Yorker.
New Yorker, yeah.
Yeah, the New Yorker, exactly. They kill a courier. The two younger guys immediately take the money that they were given to do sabotage shit and gamble it all away in New York. The other two guys try to defect. They go to D.C., and you get a situation where there's literally two Nazis trying to turn themselves over and convince secretaries at the FBI, hey, we are Nazi saboteurs and we would like to give ourselves up. While upstairs in the same building, there is an all hands on deck meeting being there are Nazis and saboteurs in America and we need to find them right now.
First of all, your level of excitement about this makes me. Has there been a documentary made about this? You should be producing
there was
a
this
documentary.
weird old man who was hiring 21-year-old couriers to edit a documentary about these.
Wait, what was the stuff that they buried?
Just, bombs.
Okay. No, but this is I at an improv show I did, we just had somebody who works at a school in Long Island, and her school was shut down because they found a Nazi bomb in a reservoir near the school. And they had to exhume it.
It might be
good word.
that old stuff. Anyway, so this was a good story, but a single freelance 69-year-old man and one 21-year-old intern level editor was not the team that was going to tell it.
Right. Okay.
Until now.
Until now.
Google image search.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, there we go. World War II submarines.
World War II submarines.
Great. And let's just look at some images. Let's just save the good-looking ones. Save them on your desktop.
Yep. Which one do you like?
That was nice, the one you have the mouse on there.
Yeah. I like this diagram.
That's a good one.
Yeah, look at
that's
this.
a gorgeous diagram.
Let's give this a good file name. Sick diagram.
Sick.
Sub-sick diagram.
Sub-sick diagram. Sub-sick diag.
Great.
That's a sick diag, bro.
And then this one, let's call this one sub-front. Let's open a compose box.
Yeah.
How about sub-ject? Do you get what I did?
Yeah, I see that.
Great. And then I just want to insert those 3 images that we saved.
Yep. Let's get the Finder up.
Great. And to me, Matt, that's the email.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's it.
No words.
No words.
I had one line.
Do it.
Just getting the juices flowing over here.
Just getting the juices flowing over here. Now, if you're going to make me send this to this guy, I feel a little weird about sending the word juices
I agree with
to
you.
an old man.
Can we say oils? Because I imagine submarines have oils.
Yeah.
Do they run on oil?
Yeah, diesel submarine. I
Yeah.
think
Getting the diesel flowing over here.
Getting the diesel.
I
There
love
we
that.
go.
Yeah, that's nice.
Now you're going to see how good my spelling is. Is that how you
You
spell
nailed
diesel?
it. You
Great.
nailed it.
And did it auto fill flowing after juices, or did I miss?
I think
See
he
that.
typed it.
Okay.
That would be real bizarre.
I mean-
It felt like it showed up so fast. I
Google-
couldn't believe it was a human typing.
Sometimes Google predictive text surprises you.
What do you mean predictive text?
Um,
I mean, I know what it is.
so here's a new email.
Yes.
Hey, just want to follow. See, it's not going to do this now. There's no way for me to make the follow up on this.
So you have it turned on
Yeah.
your
Say
Gmail.
juices flowing.
Yeah.
Say juices again.
Wanted to get the juices.
Oh,
it did. It shows up.
I told you, Matt.
No, you're right, Nicole. Nicole was right.
That makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. I'm so mad. Don't tell
It
me what I'm
knows.
going to write. Don't tell me what I'm going to write. The
Yeah.
fact that they do predictive responses is bad enough to me because it's almost always slightly off.
Oh, wow.
See,
going
I
to write
just
it
said,
added.
don't tell me what I'm going to. And as soon as I did WR, it said write about.
Wow.
I respect them. I just don't want them to take over.
I don't think that I ever let them change my mind.
You wouldn't know if you did though.
Yeah, you're right. I couldn't remember. They probably already have. Google is just writing through me.
I do love this email that we can post.
Oh,
Though.
you did? Oh, that makes me really happy.
Yeah, I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think this one, if you send it and this guy is still with us, like he's gonna be pumped. He's gonna be like, "We're back, baby."
Yeah, this is not hurtful to anyone. This is not embarrassing. Yeah, this is great.
We're getting the team back
Getting
together.
the team back together, absolutely.
Yep. Oh, maybe that should go in parentheses next to subject.
Getting the team back together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subject. Yeah. The team
It's team, not troops.
back. Yeah.
Well,
I think
mean,
he was a merchant marine, which is not quite, which is where his genesis of this interest in World War II submarines were. But
Here's what I know. They are not a branch of the armed services at all. The Marine means nothing. The Marine means water. It doesn't mean
yes.
Marine. They just are people who transport things in water.
yes, I think so.
Isn't that crazy? It's merchants and Marines, but they're not an official body.
So if you move packages via the water, you're a merchant marine.
I mean, I think it's a little bit more organized than that. I imagine that potentially what they're doing is making sure there's not like contraband moving through water.
Oh,
And there's like a merchant marine academy and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
And I've been there.
Yes,
And I've
but,
shot
but it's
video
not
interviews
a
there.
branch of the armed services.
While I'm just pulling up weird thoughts from this era, can I also take this chance to brag about maybe the most objectively badass thing that I've done? Oh, I shouldn't probably say this on a podcast. I stole a from the
Say more.
we were shooting an interview with somebody about one of these things at the J. Edgar Hoover office building in Washington, D.C. And I set up all my equipment in their like media room. And when we were packing up to leave, they had a bunch of their equipment sitting right next to ours. And as I was just putting stuff in my bag, I took a of theirs and just put it in and walked out with it.
Now, have you used that?
It was a very old and obsolete mic, and I never put it to any actual use.
Good, because for sure that mic is
bugged,
without question.
Yeah.
That's wild. I would say less badass and more just reckless.
yeah, you
Very
took
reckless.
you took the bait big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was how they were trying to
Yeah. They were,
21-year-old potential future dissenters.
Yes, exactly. I've since lost that somewhere. It wasn't even a good
That's
one.
what
It was
they wanted you to do.
Yeah, it was a wireless. It wasn't even a. It was a wired. So not as good, not as useful.
Chris,
Yes.
we have something else planned right now, but we would be remiss not to take a look at your drafts.
All right, let's go to drafts.
Oh, what's in the box?
Oh yeah, because we're I think maybe for the second time in the show's history, and both recently, we're in the thousands of drafts.
Yeah, Matt, what's that number? I can't see it.
1,000. Using your math, 1,050 because I took 4 off, but it's actually
Just rounded down to the
1,054.
nearest 50.
You're a monster. It seems like this is for work-related reasons, but can you explain to me why you have the lyrics of Blink-182's All the Small Things in your email?
Yes. Last night, Chapo Trap House did a event at Housing Works, a May Day event where we did a trivia night, and each host made a round of trivia, 10 questions, and in between the rounds, I hosted I did shot questions, and the theme of these shot questions were songs about work. It's May Day, work day. So I would read the lyrics to some of these songs, and then somebody from the audience would shout the name of the song, and then they would win a free shot. And my very first one was Late Night, Come Home, Work Sucks, I Know. What's the name of that song?
So you did you put any intonation on? You didn't sing it.
I read them as straight as possible.
Stone cold, right?
Yes.
Oh, they got harder as they went on.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's smart.
This is also a fairly good playlist when it's all put together.
Yeah.
Should I read some of these? Working for the Weekend, 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton, Work by Rihanna, Work Bitch by Britney Spears, that song rules, Work From Home, Fifth Harmony, Working Man by Rush, Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now by the Smiths. I was looking for a job and I found a job.
These are all hard. How many of these did people get?
They got all of them in the end.
Wait, what's the last one?
Work by the Units. This was one I didn't actually read. This is just a personal favorite of mine. It's from a semi-obscure synth punk band from San Francisco in the 70s, but this song is it's very good. Work by the Units.
Now I would get the Creedence one. I would get.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to sit there and sort of sing it to myself for a little bit to get it.
Exactly.
How'd people do?
They got all of them that I asked. Basically, I'll say "Found a Job" by Talking Heads was the hardest, but somebody immediately got that it was Talking Heads, but they couldn't place the song. And
Wow.
it took a little bit.
It's like a little nip of a shot, just a little.
Yeah. You just get
yeah.
a whiff.
It looks like you use drafts for a lot of lists because I'm also. What's this one here that says posters?
Posters. Yes. This is also for work stuff. I mean, here's the thing. I basically use my drafts as Google Docs because it's one less step than opening up Google Docs and starting a new doc. So I just like write emails, little draft emails to myself on my desktop, and then use them to do other stuff.
Is this something for work because you're going to put all of these things in a cauldron and make a monster out of them?
Yes.
Because can you describe because I will say I hate this man.
Well, this is something for work, and this is a list of Easter eggs to include in an illustration, an animation to put Chapo Trap House videos on YouTube. The list is posters, Starship Troopers, Dune, Casino, Steven Seagal, The Noid, books, The Chapo Guide to the Revolution, a manifesto against logic, facts, and reason, a New York Times bestseller. Buy the book. 18th Brumaire by Karl Marx, and DVDs Avatar, The Matrix, Butterfly Effect, Running Scared. I will show you what this all leads to in the end. But yes, taken out of context, it looks horrible. But I mean, that's the thing about Chapo, is that it is a collection of terrifying interests that somehow makes sense together.
That's an excellent.
You'll be able to see these on YouTube soon. We have a little vaping Reaper is watching TV. Got the DVDs laying around, the posters in the background. It's going to be a cool animation. Shout out to
that is awesome.
Shout out to Emily Halaka, who is doing the animation for this. It's going to be dope when it gets online.
That looks so great. That list does remind me of when I once walked into a dude's office for a meeting. This is in LA, and he had 3 books. It was 1984. Catch-22, and Fahrenheit 451.
Oh my God!
Next to a uncovered VHS of Jurassic Park, and I should have gotten up and left, and I didn't, but I should have.
That's amazing.
Yeah, was he trying to develop a really bland, generic YA dystopian fiction TV show?
I wish. It was not quite that. You are correct. It was a development executive. It was just a general meeting, and he just spent the whole time talking about how he felt like his life did not have any meaning. Can you believe?
So you come in with your like little portfolio of like writing samples and stuff, and you have like some ideas to kick around, and you sit down and you're like, "Hi, I'm Nicole. Here are a few things," and the guy just puts his feet up on the table and goes, just like, why? That
is pretty identical to the meeting. And then like a little bit of stuff about environmentalism that I don't think anybody in the room understood.
Do you think that the Jurassic Park VHS was like a showpiece or just something he'd never opened? Or what?
It was no, because it was just the VHS. No longer in the case. So it was definitely a showpiece.
But you saw like the little white label on the VHS.
Yes, it very clearly said Jurassic Park.
Oh, it was the cassette. It was the VHS cassette out of its case.
Yes.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
It is truly bizarre.
I'm imagining that this guy's dealing with a bit of an existential crisis around climate change. If the environmental is, I mean, honestly, like we grapple with this on Chapo fairly frequently about like what is the point of like doing anything when we're all going to die in boiling oceans in like maybe 10 years.
Right.
We at least do like a political podcast where we try to engage in like current events and like political realities that hopefully maybe possibly if literally everyone on Earth makes exactly the correct decision might save us all. Mm-hmm. But we all know that's not going to happen. But if you're like a development exec and you're like, I mean, I don't know, maybe like there are 4 guys and they're like stoners and they hang out on a couch and that's the comedy like what it's kind I can imagine being like, well, I don't know, why am I doing anything?
Could you be less derisive of my pitches? Because 4 guys on a couch that's my passion project, and I just want to get it made.
Couch boys.
Yeah, couch boys. Let's look at your old drafts.
Okay.
What is Audience with Murder?
Audience with Murder is a play that I worked on in college with a bunch of my college improv friends. I think I did sound design for this play, which was like a thing that I did in college to like stay involved with all the theater kids, even though I was a film kid.
I want to know why you have a draft that just says G-Chat.
That's a good question.
It's G-Chat, ! Who are these 2 people you're emailing?
These are my 2 of my friends from college. One continues to be my good friend. It's not like the other is not a friend. It's just that I stay in deeper touch with Joel Sininsky, who is the host of the Balling Out podcast, the only recap podcast about HBO Ballers, which I have guested on a few times. have no idea why I composed a message that just said GChat with 4 exclamation points in an email with no subject to 2 friends of mine.
Is you're not in touch with the other person anymore?
No, not as much.
Matt,
But
are you saying you want to send this
I do
email?
want to send it. I really
should I send? Should I send this one?
We do like to send a random draft here and there.
I mean, I can do that.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Sent.
Good. I needed you to do it.
The thing is that they won't be able to see that it is a 10-year-old draft.
No, so you're going to seem nuts.
So I will seem
Yeah,
nuts.
temporarily. Temporarily. You can explain later.
Yeah. When we're done recording this, I will explain the thing to
The
them.
fun of this is the 5 minutes where they're like, "Wait, what the
is
hell
this?"
is going
Yes.
on
Yes.
here?" Yeah.
No, I think that they will get it. They're both comedy people. I feel like the breadth of things that you can follow up with an email and say like, "Sorry, I was on a podcast," is like extremely wide, and especially for anybody who's in the comedy world. Like, you could send like a severed hand to somebody's door, and if they're like a fellow like comedy world improviser or like writer, if you then like called them an hour later and were like, say, "Hey, sorry, it was for like a podcast thing that I was doing," they'd be like, "Oh yeah, whatever."
Chris, I think that I was with you until you got to severed, was it hand or head?
Hand.
And I think that might be colored by the podcast circles you run in pretty specifically.
Oh, great. Well, I think that a lot of people would get it.
Yes.
I'm going to stick to my guns with that one.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe to stuff?
Define subscribe.
Unsubscribe. Secrets.
What does that mean?
How does this segment work, Nicole?
We would love to look at some email lists that you're on. Some mailing lists.
I don't know if I'm in any mailing lists. I think we'd have to go back to my my everything else. Yeah, this is where like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you are subscribed.
Yes, I am subscribed.
Okay, so can we go up top in the search bar?
Yeah.
Write label, then a little colon, and then the caret.
My brain short circuited trying to find where that thing is. That is not a often used symbol.
Yes, and then unsub. And this should work. Can you do a search? Yes, excellent. So this is every mailing list that you get.
Wonderful. Oh, this is interesting to see. As with me never deleting an email, I also have never unsubscribed from anything I've subscribed to. So this again is just a mess of interactions that I've had in my past life. Like I bought my dad one thing off NFLshop.com 3 years ago, and I got an email from NFLshop.com this morning.
What is the reason you don't subscribe?
I don't
Unsubscribe, I mean.
Too much work, out of sight, out of mind. I've got the inbox that sorts all the promotional things away from me, and so I just like literally never see them.
Interesting. So they don't mean any. So there's no reason to unsubscribe.
Yes.
Well, now what kind of storage are we looking at?
I use Gmail because I do media stuff. I use like Google Drive to store and transfer a bunch of stuff. So I have like hundreds of gigabytes of
really?
Gmail's or Google Space. But I won't pretend that part of purchasing that extra space is so that I will literally never have to think about deleting emails.
Right.
But you have all the space on Google Drive, but you don't like going to Google Documents.
No.
Right.
Yeah. I have a very look. I have developed a idiosyncratic relationship with Google, and you know what? This works for me.
How much does that set you back?
The Google Drive space?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like $20 a year or something like that.
Wow, that's nothing.
Or maybe
giving that away.
It's probably more than that, but
No, it's like $2 a month. You get a lot.
I get a lot of space, and I do like I send
Not a sponsor.
$24.
Podcast episodes and video
We took
stuff.
4 away.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got something.
I just got something new, just this moment. Dirty Projectors tickets on sale tomorrow. Ooh, maybe I'll see Dirty Projectors. Webster Hall just reopened. That'd probably be a good show. I'm not that the biggest. Oh, Deer Hunter and Dirty Projectors. That will be a good show. I'm not the biggest fan of either of those bands, but
it's not till September though.
Yeah,
so.
I can think about it.
I thought that's a crazy thing about concerts. How am I supposed to know what I want to go see in 4 months?
Yeah,
you got to decide like now.
That's crazy. You have to decide tomorrow at 10 a.m., which also is the time that I thought the concert was. I was like, that's
just a casual Friday brunch concert.
And I'll tell you right now, I was like, oh, yes. I would go to a 10 a.m. concert. I would much rather go to a 10 a.m. concert than a 7 p.m. concert.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe you're a festival fan. See concerts during the day.
Absolutely. I'm not a festival fan. Why are concerts always at night?
They're not. Because as Chris said, the festivals.
Except a festival.
I would say because nighttime is the right time to party.
It's the right time to be at home. I think.
What would be the best time for a concert for you?
Okay. Am I getting on the subway to go there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's at Webster Hall, let's say.
Okay.
It's at Webster Hall.
I'm going to say sometime between noon and 2. No, you know what? That's
I was
wrong.
going to guess
I'm
3.
being crazy. I think it's 4.
Okay.
I think it's 4 p.m. Yeah.
I mean, that does sound great. Like a Friday 4 p.m. concert, if you could get out of work a little early,
Yep.
you get it done. It's over by 7, get a light drink, a dinner, and go home and, watching TV by 9.
This is absolutely what I'm saying.
That sounds pretty good.
I just like a little matinee.
Yeah.
You know?
They should do matinee concerts.
I think the band. I honestly think the band is not in the right headspace at that time. of
It's
day.
true.
I forgot about
Based
musicians.
on the Motley Crue Netflix movie that I watched recently.
That's why we figured it out.
Yeah,
we figured out why.
I've been doing tours with Chapo, and they're not a band, but they're pretty close to it. And getting those guys to do anything before, I would say, as a group, before 7:30 p.m. would basically be you might as well just be torturing them.
Really?
It's just not going to work.
That's so interesting. Whereas I would think that being asked to be up late would be stressful for people.
No, they gotta really ease into the day and really like hit optimum functionality at about 8 p.m. And
Right.
then you get about a 4-hour window, and then it starts
Fascinating.
going downhill quickly.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that is like a band. That's
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, Chris,
yeah.
you ever get any beefs online?
You got beef?
Do I get in beefs online? I actually try to very assiduously avoid that, especially given the people that I associate with who basically spend their entire lives making fun of people online.
Right.
I try to be the good boy and stay out of things. I try to not mock people too much.
Can we see what that looks like?
Staying out of things.
Yeah. Do you just do that by not replying, or do you reply diplomatically to things?
Yeah, I mean, so this is not as much on in email, but I spend most of my time on Twitter. Here's one from just yesterday where somebody was calling me out for somebody posted a big article about Chapo yesterday, or basically accusing them all of being crypto fascists and being funded by the CIA or whatever. And somebody noted that I was not mentioned in the article at all. And this is Jeremy from Balling Out, the other Balling Out podcast. That one is about Dragon Ball Super. And this is yes.
Do they know about each other?
Only through me, because I've guested on both of them.
I see. And they're not which one came first?
I actually don't know who started which one previously. I want to say Ballin' Out Super, the Dragon Ball Super podcast, started earlier, because the Ballin' Out, the HBO Ballers podcast, only started in like season 3 of HBO's Ballers.
So sounds more recent.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you tweeted.
So this person, Jeremy, tweeted, also got a feel for @SayWhatAgain. That's my Twitter handle. Not even getting named as a douche or secret rich kid or secret Nazi open mic host in this big call-out article, to which I replied, I'm the original good boy of Chapo.
Is this an article, or is it is this a thing to be taken seriously?
It was a Medium post.
That was my question. I
Yes.
think that we were being very kind by calling it an article.
Yes, it was a Medium post that I did not even begin to read because the Medium reading time of this post was 53 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It was.
That's a movie.
Yes.
You mean the median reading time?
Like on Medium, it
I see.
counts
I
the
see.
word count and then estimates how long it will take
Yes.
you to read, and that's how long it was. Yes, it was this person's quote original reporting on the crypto fash left.
And you guys are I don't want to say that you are contentious figures, but you are.
I think it's fair enough to say that the show makes a lot of people angry.
Yes.
Yes.
But this seems like this is the kind of criticism that is not if any criticism is productive. This feels like a real goofy criticism that we were never going to take seriously anyway.
Yes.
53 minutes or not.
Yes. I will say, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into Chapo gossip because that well goes on forever. But part of this article was screenshots from a Discord server claiming that one of the hosts were saying, unsensitive things. And the name of the person in this Discord server, the username that they were using was the name of the host _real. So You can tell that is totally real and not fake or made up thing at all. And those were like the big gotchas of the entire article. Was like, oh, look what this guy's posting on Discord. Totally not him.
That's very funny. But you can't. Well, but you can't put real in your handle if you're not,
unless you're the president of the United States.
Right? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Do you ever think about that? How the president of the United States communicates mostly through a handle that just has real Donald Trump in front of it?
It's. I mean. Whatever, everything starts to feel like the new normal. But yesterday, PJ had retweeted something. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at it and I was like, the president of the country that I live in has retweeted every tweet about firemen liking him. And that's an actual reality that we live in.
He loves when the big boys like him. When football players, cops, the generals, the big general. He loves when big boys like him.
This was hundreds of retweets of just everything,
like all within one.
Yes, because of
narrow time period.
The Firemen's Union backing Joe Biden.
Sure,
and it was just like occasionally things like that'll happen, and it'll just be like it's real, and it's so dumb.
It's so dumb. It's amazing. It's simply amazing. Here's one thing that I will say. For my music podcast, I stand pretty hard for LCD Sound System on the music podcast, and I basically just block and mute anyone who contradicts that stance on the podcast Twitter handle.
So you have, for a person who's, like you said, is on Twitter a lot.
Yeah,
you have pretty rigid boundaries. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, again, because I associate with people who basically yell and argue and mock people on Twitter all day, I just try to dodge the landmines as much as I can. Extremely Oasis voice. Don't tweet back in anger.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you correspond much with your parental units?
Yes.
Parental units.
Mostly over phone, but we do email sometimes. I have 3 parents. I have a mom, and then a dad, and a stepmom.
Who do you think you hear from the most?
Definitely my mom.
Okay. Can we search for emails from your mom? That is
wait. Yes. Here we go. So I will tell you that, and you can probably tell immediately. My main thing with my mom right now is that my mom hates my apartment and really wants me to move. And if we go through these, you will see that a ton of emails from her are like apartment listings.
Can you go back a second, please?
Yeah.
Go down a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Can we look at that one?
Found?
Yeah.
Would you read it, please?
Found. Subject line. Your baseball cap. It was under the bed. I'm not going to send it. Sending that stun gun costs more than it was worth. The cap will be here next time you visit.
Excuse me. Did your mother send you a stun gun?
I'm not going to send it as funny in and of itself, but yes, answer that question.
Yes, my mom sent me a stun gun. She lives in San Diego. When I go out there for Christmas each year, there is a white elephant party hosted by friends of the family. And this year, I came out of the white elephant party with a stun gun. I had only brought carry-on bags, and I was pretty sure that they would not let me carry on a stun gun to a plane, so my mom shipped it to me.
And it cost more than it was worth.
Yes.
So funny.
And because she found the baseball cap after, she declined.
She's done sending things.
Yeah, although I was just back out in California, and I did retrieve my Mets hat from her house, so that is back with me.
Where are you from?
Cincinnati.
Why? Cincinnati, and now she lives out in California.
Yes.
Why? When did you become a Mets fan? Are you?
New York, baby. Gotta love the Mets.
Interesting.
I'm not really a sports fan in any sincere way, but I think that in any region that you're in, you got to root for the underdogs. And also, I think that the Mets have a better graphic design, color scheme, red and orange. I love Mr. Met. Cincinnati the Reds have Mr. Red, who I think looks like the less assimilated cousin of Mr. Met, like he had just got over from the old country. Let me see if I can pull these up. There's Mr. Met, and now look at Mr. Red. See what I'm talking about?
Yes. Does Mr. Red? But he doesn't always have a mustache.
They redesigned him recently and gave him
who are these 2 men? There's one little man and one big man.
So there's Mrs. Red. Here's old Mr. Red with the mustache, looking fairly Italian. And then I think that's like new Mr. Red. In the 90s, Mr. Red did not have a mustache. I think he looked a little more generic. But they redesigned him semi recently and gave him his his like Geppetto mustache.
Wait, hold on. This
the mustache is
hold
new?
on.
Yeah.
Hold on. So current Mr. Red has a mustache.
Yeah. Here, I think this is a timeline right here. You can look
Oh,
up there.
yeah. I would love a timeline. Okay, so mustache, no mustache, no mustache, mustache.
Yeah, they brought
And
him
now
back.
here's a picture of Mrs. Red,
Yeah.
And 2 Mr. Reds?
two Mr. Reds, which feels offensive to me.
Yeah, you would think that maybe they're like antimatter, and once new Mr. Red and old Mr. Red touch each other, they would annihilate. But
Yes.
I like to think of them as maybe Mr. Red Senior and Kid Red.
Well, they also had an alien.
Yeah, I
child.
don't know what that thing is.
That's Red Alf.
Red, yes. Perhaps they're trying to bite a little of that Philly fanatic stiz.
Right, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Matt, you love sports.
I do.
Do a lot of mascots have wives?
I can't tell you how little attention
there-
I pay to mascots.
Is there a Mrs. Fanatic? I think that gives you a good sense of my engagement with sports, is that the first thing that I go to about why I'm a Mets fan is like, Mr. Met, he's got a baseball head. Of course I'm going to stand for that team.
Right.
What do the Yankees have? What is the Yankees mascot? A
Yeah.
Yankee?
I might get super into mascots.
Just
Are you a
now,
Gritty fan?
No.
Did you engage in any of the dank Gritty memes
I
when
did
they
not
came out?
engage in the dank, gritty memes.
Look, we got a little too much Gritty when he first came out. It quickly, oversaturated. But look at this thing. My God, what a mascot. Did you know Gritty's hands squeak? His little paws have squeakers in them. So when he grips stuff, his hands make squeaky sound. I mean, it's a perfectly designed
That's
thing.
so stressful, though.
Yeah, it is.
What does she dislike about your apartment? How long have you been there?
I've lived in the same place for 4 years. It's too small. She thinks it's too small. And she thinks I pay too much for it. I'm like, where do you think I'm living?
You live alone?
I live with my girlfriend. Great.
And is it gross or bad, or it's just small?
It's just small.
How small?
Less than 500 square feet. It's a railroad, 4 rooms. Pretty. It's pretty small.
Talk to me about the rooms. I walk into your apartment. What am I looking at?
You walk in. You're looking at a kitchen. Maybe 10 feet by 14 feet.
Okay.
It's connected to a smaller room that we use as like a kitchen, but I also work from home, so it's not even like a dining area. I like have my home office on my kitchen table, and that's where I spend most of my time. Then there's a door, and that room's slightly smaller than the kitchen. Then there's a door to an equally sized room we use as a bedroom, and then the far end is a room the same time as the kitchen that we use as the living room.
Wait, what?
What?
Is it a kitchen we use as a living room?
A room the same size as the kitchen on the other end of the apartment. The apartment's symmetrical, and the one side is the kitchen room, and on the other side is the living room.
I see.
a
Okay,
railroad.
great. What is this email from April 23rd?
Test body?
Yes.
Oh, yes. This is classic mom shit. Mom had screwed up her Gmail somehow and had somehow put a filter in her Gmail that basically filtered emails with the word email in them to her trash. So because every email, like in its like metadata, has the word email in it, basically every email was going directly to trash. It had been this way for like 2 years. And
What?
Nobody's writing.
Did she think she wasn't getting to emails?
no, she would just
confused?
because she would just have to go to her trash and check that because things like
So
stay in there
funny.
for to whatever, like 30 days or whatever.
So her trash became her inbox.
Yes, her trash became her inbox. And I tried to walk her through this many times of being like, okay, the only thing I can think of is if you have a filter, go to settings, filters, what do you see there? And she's like, nothing, there's no filter here. And I'm like, then I have no idea what's wrong. So I was just out in California 9 days ago, and I was able to actually get into her inbox and open her filters. And of course, the first thing I see is a filter that filters emails with the word email to, and emails would go
So
back
she-
in.
I don't think that's a bad idea, though, because you got to figure, okay, if all your emails are going into trash, you got to deal. There's like stakes there. You got to deal with them in 30 days or they're going away forever.
That's not a bad point.
Yeah.
But I could see that being a very valuable
Be a
tool for
good-
some
yeah.
people.
30-day time bomb, I think is what we call that.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good app.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
an app.
Somebody should develop that. Copyright Inbox Podcast 2019.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah, what's up?
are you on Goodreads?
Are you on Goodreads?
I don't think. No, I'm not.
Okay, and that's
Yep,
the segment.
the segment. Do you feel like there's like a time or a place in your inbox that we really ought to just make sure we kind of pull up a stone that we haven't turned over yet?
Maybe like when I first like my first like really working in New York, like 2011, when I was at like a desk job and just sending emails all the time. The other thing that I would say is just like the endless. This is something that I'm sure both of you can identify with. Just endless emails organizing like indie comedy teams, like all of that nonsense.
Did you used to in 2011? You would send you're just killing time at work?
Yeah, just like. On Gmail all the time, like basically biding time during the day, stuff like that. Also, I don't even really remember what I was up to at that point. So,
okay, well, Matt, it sounds like we should get in the email time machine.
Taking it back, 2011 edition.
Shoom, shoom, shoom.
That's me trying to do a TARDIS noise with my mouth.
What was
Doctor
the
and the
noise?
TARDIS.
A TARDIS noise.
Our last episode of And Introducing was covering the KLF, a British kind of provocateur novelty dance pop group from the late 80s who had a smash hit single called Doctoring the TARDIS.
Ooh.
That is like a novelty dance song about the TARDIS.
Interesting. Is it good?
It's real silly. It's set to a sample of the Gary Glitter Rock and Roll Part 2 beat,
Yep. Pretty good.
And then then the main hook of it is just them like gang vocals chanting, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who.
That sounds incredible. That sounds genuinely incredible.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the icon that is a calendar.
Yeah.
Excellent. Just pick a random date.
After 2011, 10-1, and let's go to 2011, 10-2.
Yeah.
Boom, look at this.
So this is what your email looked like.
Yeah.
So this is from Sunday, October 2nd, 2011. Mm-hmm. What are we looking at?
We are looking at an email from my former bandmate, Jeremy. This is rent on the practice space in Sweatshop Studios in Williamsburg, where I spent 3 hours twice a week for about 18 months in 2011. I haven't thought about this in forever.
Isn't that so wild?
Yeah.
Snapshot.
Bird Love is the name of the band.
And then this email thread kept going until 2012. Why?
I guess every month he just responded to this email and was like, hey, send me rent again.
Okay, but look at the last email from him. Can you click on that? Would you mind reading that?
Hey, dude, we should rehearse tomorrow at noon and get drinksies. That being said, it's been almost a year, so it's now up to $540. So I guess I forgot to pay rent.
The juice is really running there.
Yeah.
Man.
So I guess I forgot to pay rent on the band space for a year. Though I think that I resolved this at some point.
What an absolutely chill way to say, hey, friend, you owe me half of $1,000.
Yes.
Plus 40.
But also, let's get drinks.
Drinksies.
Yeah. I'll just assume that I bought him $500 worth of drinks the next day.
Yes. That's delightful. Okay, back. You got an email that said, let's go to this. Did you end up going to that thing? It looks like a thought catalog event.
Yes. I don't know if I ended up going to this, but this is certainly something. Look, I don't want to. Wow, I can't believe this invite is still up.
What is the
I
invite?
actually can't even believe that Thought Catalog still exists as a website. I can't believe they're still paying the bills over at thoughtcatalog.com.
That the lights are still on?
Yeah. This is a open bar mixer for reader meetup at the Anchor, October 6, 2011.
But it is not just presented as an invite. How is it presented? As an article on Thought Catalog.
Yes.
Called what?
5 reasons you should come to the Thought Catalog drink up on October 6th. This and the person who invited me to this, Thought Catalog is something that we would definitely ruthlessly mock constantly. And the only reason to go to this would be to get the free drinks from the open bar, and then to make fun of everyone.
Is there anywhere to RSVP on this page?
Let's see if I can RSVP. I don't think any of these links still work. It just links back to the same thing.
So you would have. So the email looks like an innocent invite, but it had a mocking undertone.
It would be understood between us that yes, this is something to go to. Yes, my response, yes, hobnob with the YMPs (parentheses young media professionals).
So Chris, you've always been somebody who, as the British would say, might take the piss out of a youth establishment culture.
Yeah, I mean, you got to participate. in things, but just because you're participating in them doesn't mean that you have to take them seriously.
Right. So music you take seriously?
Yeah, but also not so much. I mean, music is, I think, inherent. Like it is something that people emotionally connect with very deeply. And can be some of the most emotionally powerful things in people's lives. But also a lot of music is extremely silly. And a lot of musicians are extremely silly. And I mean this in the kindest way possible, dumb.
Right.
But they make great art that people identify with. But even the most beautiful stuff, you kind of have to take a step back and be like, well, a lot of this is very silly.
So it would be fair to say you worship no false gods.
I mean, that is a very heightened way to say that, yes. But look, everybody deserves a little respect, but nobody deserves that much respect.
I want to pull the lens back a little bit. You're sitting at a desk. I want to see if you went on any rants or anything like that or wrote any kind of longer emails real
great
quick
point, Matt.
while you're at this job.
What person would you write that to?
People I wanted to do creative projects with, people I was romantically involved with, that was probably trying, like if I'm trying to imagine what kind of email this would be, it would be like a long email to explain why I suck so bad.
Okay, hold on. Everybody stop.
Yeah.
We've got a true parental alert. Can you tell me what this email from your father is? And can you begin by reading the subject line?
This one?
Yes. I'm assuming that's your father.
Yes.
Great.
Child, I'm trying to book flights for him. November 23rd and December 23rd. Plane gets in around 7:30 p.m. Leaving both times on the 27th about 11:30 a.m. We'll let all know when it is confirmed. Again, I think my dad writes in the tenor of a telegram.
So he's referring to you as child here.
As child.
Is that so? Instead of saying flights,
Yeah.
he's calling this email child.
Yes.
And then I'm trying to book flights for him.
Yes.
So I imagine this
third
is
person
So
you.
you are CC'd on this, but this is not to you.
This is an email from my dad to my mom, his ex-wife, about me coming home for Thanksgiving and Christmas 2011.
Now can we go back? Because I think I saw something else that might connect to this.
Yes.
Go back. Now scroll up. Hold on. It's from your mom. Where was this?
Is it the one about...
Oh, please stop your dad. Go down. Please stop your dad. Here.
This is just to me. All caps. Please stop your dad. Body. Immediately on the Christmas flight. No one told me he was booking Christmas flight. Joan and Ted and the girls will be here until the 28th. Please intervene quickly.
This is a parental alert.
Yeah.
This is the true definition of a parental alert.
Yes. This is extreme only child of divorced parents shit in which they are all operating independently and I am the only conduit and most of the time. Let's see. This is from Thursday, October 27th. The child flight is from...
The same day.
Same day.
So do you,
what's the turnaround time? 11:27 a.m. for the first email. 12:23. So
I'm at work. I could probably be like, let's see, this would be October 2011. I think I had just started working at Slate. I was probably on turnaround for like doing a trending video at this time. I could potentially have not seen either of these emails by the time I saw both of them. Two units moving totally independently of each other at opposite ends. And I'm like, oh well, shit. How apparently there's a problem with flights.
One is a thought, one is a question. First is I have observed that your mother uses subject lines to begin her emails.
Yes.
This is not the first time that this has happened.
Yes.
It's a very interesting way to use subject lines.
I think she picked it up from me because I do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And second, why can you not be in the state at the same time as Joan and Ted and the girls?
I think the point is to be in the state at the same time.
Oh.
As Joan and Ted and the girls. That is my aunt and uncle and my cousins.
Right.
Who would be visiting us. It's just to coordinate that we'll all be there and that I won't be like, I don't know, he wouldn't be booking me flights to come back to. I don't remember how this is.
But if she emailed him to be like, wait a second, it would like start a whole thing or something. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
And she wanted you to do that.
Yes.
Got it.
Because I have a one-to-one authority relationship with each of my parents in that with each parent unit, I can make decisions with them, but they cannot make decisions with each other that involve me. It's very complicated. It honestly sucks. I hate it. Yeah, I have to be the sole arbiter of all parental interactions.
So this first email then that you were CC'd on is more complicated than we realized. You were not just being asked to bear witness.
Yes. It was to inform inform my mother of the plans, but I don't think that if she had emailed my dad, he would have necessarily listened to her. Only I could talk to him to tell him what the deal was.
Right.
So the issue is you were going to be leaving on the 27th, and they were going to be there till the 28th.
Yes.
So we were going to lose a whole day.
A whole day of aunt and uncle cousin time.
Oh, I see. Speaking of great jobs, let's go back to that email we wrote at the beginning of the show. Actually, I want to see if you got a response.
You did get an email. You did get, yeah, let's see.
What?
You got an email. Let's just see if that's about the G-Chat message.
Yes.
Yes, that's a great response.
Wow, nailed it. I'm going to respond right now. Joel emailed me back almost immediately, or 33 minutes later. Was this an email from your drafts in 2008?
Tell him wrong, 2007.
Wrong, 2007.
And I think you should include your other friend on it.
Oh, yes. You're right. I'm currently recording a podcast where the hosts make me do weird things in my inbox.
We don't make, we suggest.
Sure. I don't know if we'll be recording long enough to get this, but I want to see if he agrees that I could send a severed hand and say this is from a podcast. Good?
Yes, perfect.
Send.
Did we think he just guessed 2008 because it had the word G-Chat in it? Is that what
happened?
happened?
I don't know. I don't know how he was able to get grasp that.
That's pretty good.
I mean, it was really smart.
Yeah, very intuitive.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
I've never watched Ballers, but I'm going to listen to this podcast.
It's funny. They do good commentary.
Make sure you listen to the Ballers HBO show one though, because that's who this is, I think, right?
Yeah, this is Balling Out, the only HBO's Ballers recap podcast, not Balling Out Super, the only Dragon Ball Super recap podcast.
Okay, back to Compose.
Whatever.
Compose. Or the
draft.
Original draft?
Subject.
Yes. Okay, so would you just recap this email?
This email says sub-ject, parentheses, getting the team back together. The body of this is 3 incongruous black and white images of World War II era submarines, one of which is a meticulously labeled diagram of the parts of a submarine.
That's the sick diag.
That's the sick diag. And then it just contains the words, just getting the diesel flowing over here.
Okay, so now, Chris, if you get this trivia question wrong, you are sending that email.
Great.
So you're going to read this one, Nicole?
Sure.
Okay. We don't know the answer.
I will say, I don't know if this was good content for the pod, but I was listening to your last episode and about the Snapchat mascot.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend worked for Snapchat for a year, so I was screaming out the answer to that.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we go on for a while, so it's probably just you're really yelling at us.
Yeah.
Matt, do you listen to every episode?
I listen back to him, yeah.
That's wild. Chris, you've listened to more episodes than I have.
I don't listen to back episodes of And Introducing. I probably listen to every Chapo episode about 3 times because I listen when we record, I listen when I edit, and I probably listen back once it's out.
I learn things when I listen back to things that I made. You know what I mean?
Sure. I hate myself and the idea that these are out there in the world and that 4 or 5 people listen to every episode makes me crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just a fun little Easter egg, what I'm going to start with, which is the subject line that Rachel sent, which bears no relationship to the question itself, but just for funsies, is Chapo Trivia House.
Okay, thank you.
Question. Money giant PayPal was founded in 1999 by a bunch of guys who went on to found more successful companies. What are the collective PayPal founders known as? A. PayPal Squad. B. Lords of PayPal. C. PayPal Mafia. D. In quotes, those PayPal assholes. Do you know the answer?
I don't know it, but I'm gonna get. I mean, they're like Silicon Valley guys, so they have. This is like where Elon Musk got his money. I'm going to assume it's the most grandiose version of these, and also like the pretend badass. So my instinct is PayPal Mafia.
Oh, you would call that the most badass, and
or
the most...
what a Silicon Valley guy would think is like the most badass.
Oh, it's funny. I was with you, but I would have called that Lords of PayPal.
Lords of PayPal.
Just thinking about Lords of Dogtown, which is a movie about
skateboarders.
Oh, okay, that was what I was going to guess. But it's ultimately your call, Matt, and I don't know the answers. We're just here to guide you.
I'm going to go with PayPal Mafia.
Final answer? Look
Yes.
at Rachel and say PayPal Mafia.
PayPal Mafia.
You got it.
Boom. Team will not be getting back together.
You dodged the bullet of a weird email from a guy that you almost certainly don't remember.
Send that to Nicole.
Yes, please send that to me.
our
I think you stole my email.
Permanent archive.
Send it to him.
Excellent. Chris, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a lot of fun. I enjoyed listening back to the other. I mean, I don't need to gas you guys up, but I find this podcast very soothing, the episodes I've listened to.
That's shocking. You should keep a lookout for season 2 because it gets contentious.
And if you want to find us, you can get us at inboxthepodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter at inboxthepodcast.
Is your straw also brewmate?
No, the straw is not brewmate. I don't think brewmate makes straws because they have these little sippy tops. They make straws?
Do they fit they like fit into the sippy top?
Specifically, they're wine straws.
Wine straw, but you don't drink wine with a straw.
You do if you have a brewmate.
I'm going to say we're ripping up the format. This is a show about straws today.
Straw
I love
talk.
it.
Welcome to Potting Straws, the official after show of Straws.